Okay, welcome to Michael Savage's Kitchen. It's a short one tonight. Didn't mean to do it, but by popular demand, I'm back tonight with one of my favorite dishes in the world, shrimp oreganata. And of course, it's almost impossible to get in restaurants anymore because it takes too much time. Okay, I have about 12, 6, 18 pieces of shrimp. They're from the Gulf of Mexico, not from Asia. They're really good. And I've seasoned them in olive oil, breadcrumbs, oreganata, thank you. And now we're going to add some parsley, some basil, and of course, garlic. What's Italian for without garlic? Where's my hammer? Aha. Now, this is an essential tool. Imagine the garlic is any politician that you despise. What you do is you just, you know, call it by name. Give the garlic a name. Imagine that your favorite politician is a piece of garlic. I don't know if this consists of domestic terrorism. Sarcasm, I guess, will soon be outlawed by Joey. Everything else is outlawed. They moved the statue of all people, Lincoln, from Cornell University because some submoron who never belonged in college to begin with was admitted on affirmative action or psycho action into Cornell and said he didn't like the Lincoln statue. It offended him because it reminded him or her or he or she or it about slavery. This is how idiotic and stupid it is. You've got people in colleges that don't belong there. They should have been, well, you know where they belong. But the jails, unfortunately, are being emptied out and they're being sent to Ivy League schools. So they can be professors. They could do seminars on hating white people, and hating history, and hating America. So we've just made our politician garlic, right? It's not that complex. Beat it up. You throw it in. You throw it in. You give it a nice flavor. I don't use a lot of black pepper because it overwhelms everything. And so it's going to be on a baking sheet, 400 degrees for about, what is this one? I want to make sure I have the right oregano here. It is. Never can put in too much oregano. Shrimp oreganata. Time for the parsley. As you can see, it's a crowded kitchen. As I talked to my guest today from New York, his podcast will be up with me Friday. Italian gentleman, was in the security business for the U.S. government for many years. He did security clearances, grew up in the Bronx. He said his mother used to listen to my show religiously. I said, I love her. And he said she got him into the show and blah, blah, blah. But he wrote this great book. So I'm sure his mother would approve of my shrimp oreganata. And just going to stir it around a little bit. Put it on the baking sheet. Takes time. Everything that you want to do takes time. You know, many people don't have the time nor the inclination to bother. My mother had a 4-burner electric stove in Queens in a little kitchen. She would knock out 4 gourmet meals at the same time. Nobody could understand how she did it. And my guest said his mom, who was Italian, did the same thing. That's been lost. I told him about $5 million kitchens in these big homes in wherever, around America. A kitchen the size of this little house I'm in. And you open the triple door, and you know what you see? It's like a Lenny Bruce joke. It looks like a hooker's refrigerator in these houses. A pack of chiclets and a half a bottle of bad wine. And the stove has never been turned on. It's a mark of success to the idiots. Well, good for them. But this relaxes me greatly, I'll be honest with you. As you can see, it's looking good, isn't it? Well, to most of you it is. You don't know food. If you don't know food, this looks like a mess, doesn't it? But it isn't. This is Michael's shrimp oreganata with fresh parsley and fresh basil. And, of course, breadcrumbs, which theoretically they tell you to mix it all in advance. I don't do it. I have my own style, which is I kind of mix it as I go. Don't overdo the breadcrumbs. They're gonna roast a little bit. I may throw in a piece of eggplant. I love eggplant on the tray. I doubt there's enough room for it. And that's it. I'm going to make a simple dish. I'll come back to you later with part two. As soon as the oven's 400 degrees, I'm going to lay these out on my tray. Getting ready here. That's parchment paper. Very nice lady told me about parchment paper years ago. You know, it doesn't give off any chemicals, and it's certainly safer than using aluminum foil. I wrote a book many years ago about the dangers of aluminum with regard to neurotoxicity, well established in the literature, but you won't learn that in the Fauci School of Medicine. Aluminum and Alzheimer's disease is deeply connected. I wrote a book about this in the 80s called Reducing the Risk of Alzheimer's, well researched. I don't use aluminum in anything, especially with acidic foods. You don't want to put acidic foods with aluminum foil and then recook it, because the aluminum will be absorbed by the food and you'll eat it. Crosses the blood-brain barrier rather rapidly. So I use parchment paper. Say, well, yeah, it's a lot of information. Well, okay, it's a lot of information. What do you expect from me? A little information? You want a little information? Go to the government. Ask Fauci. Took the shots, then he took the antiviral drug, and he got COVID a second time with the antiviral drug. But he told you he needs a vigorous injection campaign again, that Dr. Strangelove madman. Do not, under no circumstance, inject your child with this toxic government poison. It's liable to permanently damage them. Now, this will probably get this thrown off YouTube, because the third world idiots who run these, I don't know how this happened. How do they hire third world idiots to work for like YouTube and Facebook and Zuckerberg? How do they do that? They come from countries of deep fascism. They come to my beautiful country and they tell me what I can say. Don't you love it? Isn't America great? It used to be, until it was polluted and ruined by third world garbage. And I'm the son of an immigrant, but let me tell you something, Buster. Nobody came here in my father's time and told this country what to do. And if they did, they kicked them out on their asses. Go back to the Statue of Liberty. Give us, you're poor, you're tired, and you're oppressed, yearning to be free. That's on the Statue of Liberty, isn't it? Yeah, right. Except there was no welfare state then. They came here and lived 16 to a room and worked their asses off. They didn't come here and sit on their behinds and curse America and knock down our statues and join Antifa and Black Lives Matter to overturn America. Fight back! I do by cooking shrimp oreganata. It's going to go on the cooking tray in a minute. Are we at 400 degrees yet? Yeah. It's going to go on my tray. I don't really have the patience to put them on one at a time. Make believe it's a restaurant. What do you think they do? And talk to each shrimp? How are you today, Shrimpy? You ever move around? You ever watch people make a pizza? They use their fingers. Same thing with food. Get used to it. That looks so good. I'm going to make my pasta with it. That looks nice. But you know what's missing? Nothing. Nothing's missing. Nothing's missing but my loyal listeners in my dining room. Of course, I don't want you here. You're here on YouTube, which is good enough for me. I'm going to put a little more basil on it for the aromatics. And a little more, I can't wait to open the wine. There we go. Just crisp them out a little bit more. And there's not room for even any, there's room for a piece of eggplant, isn't there? I can't cut it and hold the YouTube phone in my hand, so this is going to be a little difficult. Oh, that's a special skill. I did cut it. How do you like that? There you go. And what I'm going to do is just put them on the edges and cook my eggplant on the edges. Say, I never saw that. Well, neither did I. We'll see how it turns out. Cooking should be an experiment. It's like a kitchen is like a laboratory. You try things. Some of them work well. Some of them work fairly well. Some don't work at all. Some of the food's garbage. And then what happens? Try it again. Okay, here we go. So 400 degrees is the desired temperature for 7 to 8 minutes. And I got a new prescription after many years. My eyes are killing me trying to adjust to it. One day I'll do a whole show on the Gonoffs in the eyeglass business. I just can't believe it, how much it costs, $1,700 for 4 pair of glasses. I never saw anything like it. But what choice did I have? Go blind? So here we go. Okay, look at that. 400 degrees, 7 to 8 minutes, boom. Now I'm going to have my wine, and then I'm going to come back maybe with you, and I'm going to show you the dish as it comes out of the oven on a separate YouTube, I suppose. And then I will make my pasta with it with very simple canned sauce. It's that simple. I don't have the patience to make my own tomato sauce. I did it years ago. My favorite pepper, by the way. We only get these out in Northern California, where we have some of the best produce in the world. These are known as not Monterey peppers, but Fresno chilies. They're spicy but mild. I can't explain it. They're spicy, but they don't burn you. They're unique. Fresno chilies. In the time of COVID, I've been eating these almost like M&Ms sometimes, pieces of them. You say, well, what are you, nuts? Fauci didn't tell us to eat hot food, spicy food. Right, okay, what else didn't he tell you? He told you to take another injection that the government made for you. So I'm going to let you see my beautiful face, and then I'm going to say, I'll be back soon. Michael here. Back soon, waving my basil at you. And shrimp oreganata, back in a while with my finished dish. Thank you for listening.